Okay, let's just kick this off with a statement that sounds, honestly, a little bit crazy. Last week, a 4,000-word blog post, a LinkedIn article, and a full YouTube video were all published in just 55 minutes.
And just to put that in perspective, that exact same workload used to take us a full 8 or 9 hour day. I mean, we're not talking about a small incremental improvement here. This is a complete teardown of the old way of doing things. A whole day's work squashed into less than an hour. So the big question is, how on earth is that even possible? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and break down the exact system that makes it happen. We call it the 55-minute AI content pipeline.
Here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with a high-level look at the home machine. Then we'll dive into each of the 3 stages, research and writing, then the LinkedIn translator, and finally the YouTube engine. After that, we'll get into the secret sauce, the core reason this works so well. And then, of course, we'll talk about how you can start building one for yourself.
All right, let's dive in. First up, the big picture. You have to think of this not as a bunch of separate tasks, but as one integrated 3-stage system designed for one thing: maximum leverage.
The flow is super simple and logical. Stage 1 is all about the foundation, creating one deeply researched, high-quality blog post. Stage 2 doesn't just repost, it translates that foundation for LinkedIn. Then Stage 3 transforms it into a totally new medium for YouTube. Now, the most important part of this whole thing is that the blog post is the single source of truth. Everything flows from it. If you nail that first piece, the quality just cascades down through the rest of the system.
Okay, so let's get into the most critical part. Stage 1, research and writing. This is where all the core value gets created, and it's a really cool collaboration between human insight and, AI-powered assembly. The entire research phase for a 4,000-word post takes just 15 minutes. Now, that speed is only possible because we're not just throwing a prompt at a general AI. We're using a highly specialized AI research agent that has one very specific job to do.
You can think of this agent as a fact-checker on steroids. Its only mission is to find the latest data, verify every single statistic by tracing it all the way back to its primary source, like the original study or survey, and if it can't confirm it, it gets flagged and thrown out. No exceptions.
And this is where it gets really powerful. Not long ago, the agent was checking an AI adoption stat that was cited everywhere as 68%. But it followed the citation chain back and found the original report. The real number? 58%. I mean, that one catch right there saves you from publishing wrong information, and more importantly, it protects the trust you have with your audience. That's huge.
So, with all that verified research locked and loaded, we move into the writing phase. This part takes about 25 minutes. And again, the key here is that the AI isn't writing for you, it's writing with you.
Exactly. It's a really clear division of labor. The human, that's you, provides the things only a human can: the original arguments, the unique frameworks, your personal voice, and of course, the final say on everything. The AI handles all the grunt work, structuring the article, weaving in the data seamlessly, adding internal links, and layering on the SEO. It completely frees you up to focus only on the highest value work, the stuff that makes your content unique.
All right, blog post is done. Now we move to stage 2. We take that core article and feed it to what we call the LinkedIn translator. And the key word here is translator. This isn't just about reposting, it's about smart repurposing.
In this whole translation process, it takes just 5 minutes. And in that time, the system kicks out 3 distinct, totally platform-native posts, all spun out from that one blog.
Right, and it's so fast because it isn't guessing. It's following a strict set of rules that we've programmed into it. Things like get the hook in the first 2 lines, frame it with a personal angle, use tons of line breaks so it's easy to read on a phone, and, this is a big one, absolutely no external links in the body of the post. So many people get this wrong. The system forces you to respect the context of the platform, making sure the content feels like it was born on LinkedIn because, well, it was.
And that brings us to the final stage, the YouTube engine. This is where we take that same written article and transform it into a compelling video, all without ever touching a camera. Now, this is the part that usually blows people's minds. The entire YouTube workflow, from text to a fully published video with a title, tags, and a custom thumbnail, takes only 10 minutes. If you've ever made a video, you know how insane that sounds. So here's how it works. The blog post gets uploaded to NotebookLM. You write a quick steering prompt to tell it what the video's focus should be.
It generates the actual video in about a minute. Then another specialized agent takes over and does all the YouTube SEO, titles, tags, descriptions, the whole shebang. Finally, it spits out thumbnail concepts to build out in Canva. The traditional barriers, cameras, microphones, editing software, they're just gone.
So let's just step back and look at the total output. In 55 minutes, this pipeline created 1 major blog post, 3 separate LinkedIn posts, and 2 YouTube videos. That is 7 distinct pieces of content distributed across 3 different platforms, all stemming from one core idea. The leverage you get from that is just massive.
So now that we've walked through the how, let's talk about the why. What's the fundamental principle that makes this whole system so darn effective? Well, it all boils down to one word: specialization. And this really is the core of it all. If you use a vague general prompt like, hey, turn this blog post into social media content, you are always going to get a generic, pretty average output. But a specialized agent with a very narrow specific job, like our LinkedIn translator, produces high-quality, reliable results every single time. It's like medicine, right? You don't want one general doctor trying to do brain surgery. You want a team of specialists. This pipeline is basically that team of specialists for your content.
Okay, let's wrap this up with the most important part: how you can actually start building your own version of this pipeline.
Here's your 5-step blueprint. First, always start with a high-quality blog post as your foundation. Second, build out unique, platform-specific prompts for each channel you use. Third, leverage a tool like NotebookLM to create fast, faceless videos. Fourth, and this is crucial, build in quality gates, like that fact-checking agent we talked about. And finally, number 5, invest your time upfront designing the instructions for your agents. That initial investment pays off like you wouldn't believe.
You know, when you really think about what this means, with these kinds of systems, a single person can now operate at the scale of a small agency. The old limitations are just evaporating. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build?
And hey, if you want to go a lot deeper on how to build these kinds of AI systems for your own business, aiforfounders.io/class is a really great place to start.